Welcome back once again to yet another edition of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. Joined with me tonight, your sharp break kid, Owen, is my good friend Duncan. How you doing, King of Bong style?
Doing great, my man. Living the dream.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And all the way from Denver, it's Clint Bobski. It's the modern-day Maharaja himself, our good friend Matthew. Matthew, how are you? I know you're probably a little stressed just running in. You ran into the ring right now. You ran into the podcast.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise appearance. Just came out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere. That was a definite run-in for sure.
Yeah, made it right at the last minute. It's like usually that happens right as you're about to go off the air in wrestling.
Yeah.
Not right as you're about to go on the air.
On the air.
when no one else can really see it and experience the greatess of the run-in.
But you made it. You made it to the show. Maybe the flight was late. Maybe the taxi,
goddamn rental cars.
Rental cars,
the
or
rental car. Yeah, the
Uber.
I didn't have my room on reservation, even though I'm a rewards member. I got all 6 stars of that bitch. But yeah, I made it, and I don't know. After another Clash of Champions, after another pay-per-view, I'm still boozing and losing, baby. Still boozing and losing.
Yeah, and I'm still sinning and winning. Well, not really. I tied Duncan this week. It was a very close call for myself. Very, very close call. But
It was that, as we knew was going to happen. It was the insistence on the no contest.
Yep, I told you guys. that was gonna.
Yeah,
be...
but it wouldn't have mattered because even if we'd have picked Randy, we'd have still wouldn't have mattered. So, congratulations on the tie, champion.
Thank you. You were very. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that just, I'm a defending champion.
Because you're going to be doing some more predictions later.
A fighting champion, shall we say?
Really? All right, you were about to cut a Brock Lesnar promo on yourself. You just relax.
Yeah.
It's been a lot though, man. There's been a lot of defenses in my
There has been a lot
for a very short title. I've only had it a couple of months. And it feels like I've defended the thing like 13 times. It has seriously been 4 or something like that, right? Like at this point.
Well, there was the weekend.
There was one where there was 3 in like a week. So
Yeah.
3 in a
knocked
week,
3
yeah.
out. So you're at like 5 or 6.
I think this is at least 5, maybe 6. So yeah, it's brutal when you're running that gauntlet.
It is. But that champion's advantage saved me this time, and it's interesting because everything could have unfolded quite differently. As we know, they made very last-minute changes to Clash of Champions. But before we do that and talk and get into Clash of Champions, because we were just talking about run-ins and airports and places where like you've had the worst travel, what say both of you is the most likely place that a wrestler is going to have a shit time, getting in from the airport to the hotel to the venue on time? What city do you think is going to make them late the most? Where would you guess?
Wherever the most marks are. Seriously, there's a whole network of these fuckers that just like either work for airlines or work for hotels, and they let their people know when this person is flying in, on what airline, where that, like, dude, and then they just ambush these poor fuckers who are just trying to travel for work. Dude, I will tell you, as somebody who has traveled for work, if you approach me when I get off a fucking 5-hour flight and I'm going to the baggage claim to get my bags, I might chop you in the throat. I'm not gonna lie, like, you might get a fucking knife edge.
So by your logic, it's probably like Chicago or something then, right?
Well, I think it's one, you got to take in a couple of factors. Really busy airport, right? I think they're jabroning themselves if they fucking check bags.
Of course they are.
So they're probably just rolling. They got the fanny pack, which counts as a pouch but not as a carry-on. And then I bet then they got like their bag, like probably like a small something to put under the seat, and then they got like their roller that
overhead
they put up
roller.
top,
Yeah.
I bet, unless they're on a long run, which I guess you gotta check. But so the busyness of the airport, not jabroning yourself, and then distance of airport from the city. Like Denver's airport is like way outside of the city. I'm not saying that's my choice, but it's like well outside of it. So if there was an accident on the highway or anything like that, you'd be fucked because there's only like that one way in and out on Pena right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Such a pain in the ass.
So that's kind of a crapshoot. But I mean, I'm more prone to go with something that's like a really busy airport in a really busy city. Like you'd think it would be real quick, like New York or
that's why I said Chicago, like O'Hare or something, but
I think that also Orlando would be one of those places too, because they fly in and out of here so much.
Yeah,
so well, they fly in and out of there, and there's a lot of tourist attractions there too. So you typically, not during Corona, but typically have a very busy airport regardless, because you guys have all of the theme parks and such.
I'll go the other way slightly and say that you also have certain cultures in certain areas of the country which just operate at a slower and different pace than other like cities. And in my experience...
Oh, you mean everyone's not like idling at a 9 up here?
yeah, where they're like, hey, honey. They're a little more relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
And
where are these chill people right now? I don't know any of these chill people right now.
Maybe not right now, but when I was there, the couple of times I've been there, and proximity from airport to like the city and where they would be staying, New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a long way away. The airport's a long way away from the city, and it's fucking like they're just two terminals, snail's pace. They give no fucks. Like there's no one really there, so it doesn't matter too much. But I can see like something like that going wrong for a wrestler, especially in New Orleans. Maybe the wrong time of year during like a Mardi Gras type situation, that could do it.
Also, you got to think like when there were shows in Canada, you're crossing the border, so you have customs and everything like that you're dealing with. So there are a lot of lines there. I mean, you can have global entry and things like that can speed it up, but you still have to deal, to a certain extent with that. God, there's just so many factors, like even just like layovers, man, like just like those tight ass layovers. Like even for work myself recently, and I've got to go out again in 2 weeks, but to fucking Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of The Office, kind of, but have to go back there. But in order to like the best flight, and there's only like one a day each way, is that you have to fly to O'Hare, which, as you were saying, busy airport, giant fucking airport.
Was the busiest in the world for a while. I don't know if that's still true. Was the busiest in the world for a while, I want to say, but...
That in Atlanta definitely go back and forth.
Big hubs.
That in Atlanta go back and forth. But then, like, I mean, getting to those terminals, sometimes it's like that's completely opposite side. Because what I have to do is if I'm flying from Denver to Scranton or Scranton to Denver, it's like land on United, and then I got to go like 2 terminals over and catch the other flights, and that's a regional flight to Scranton or coming from Scranton, and then it's 45-minute layover. So if there's any sort of fucking delay,
you're
like
fucked.
I'm barely
missing
making
the flight.
If it's on time, I'm getting there just as they're starting to board, and I can usually like grab a beer right at the bar right there and fucking slam it like Stone Cold style as they're like letting all the fucking A-listers who, style and profile into first class, or at least like are military or wearing a blue shirt that day, and they just chose to give those people preference. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, but there's a lot of factors. So I think there's airport. So I would say you're saying New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll say New Orleans. Yeah,
I'm actually going to go Chicago just because of Duncan's comment about all of the fucking smarts. Because it's such a big wrestling city. So I'm gonna go Chicago. Even though, like, if you don't go to Midway, if you go to O'Hare, you're pretty close. Midway's obviously a little further out, but
but it also depends on where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
Chicago has a lot of venues all around the city, so like sometimes Midway's better, sometimes O'Hare's better.
Where would the
yes,
WWE,
Chicago's
for instance, where would they play in Chicago? Where do they play?
Who?
In Chicago, WWE?
Yeah, WWE.
It depends. Either the United Center,
Yeah,
or they go to the Allstate Arena, which is just outside Chicago, but it's still like, you call it Chicago close enough, right?
But they never play the Sears Center, which I know is outside of it, right? Like, that's all.
The Sears Center is too small.
Yeah.
too small.
Yeah. Like, not that they wouldn't necessarily do a house show there, but I think it's too big for a house show and too small for a TV.
Fair enough.
Well, it was perfect for All In.
Who knows with everything coming up and like how things they'll change, and maybe they will play some small. I think it'd be
I just Googled actually where they wrestle in Chicago, and apparently my Google search wasn't that great, but it did get me to like Vivid Seats and such, and so I have they do have tickets that you can get, so it's like November 7th, WWE Road to WrestleMania, which is rescheduled from 3/21. November 15th, that's in Springfield, Massachusetts. The November 15th, Macon Centerplex, Macon, Georgia, rescheduled from 4/18. Yep. December 28th.
So that's interesting.
Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio, rescheduled from 4/10 and 6/12. So that's a Raw. So they at least keep pushing them out.
Right,
like,
right.
They're
they keep
trying
rebooking. To do yeah, I see. That's interesting that they're doing that. I'm surprised that they're kind of doing that and not just kind of like TBAing everything. That
they don't want to have to give people that money back. As of right now, anybody who's purchased tickets, those tickets are still good for whenever they do it in the future. So as long as they keep pushing it forward,
yeah,
that's like what fucked over Cirque is. They had to give everybody their money back because it was an indefinite.
I'm sure though that right now, if you wanted your money back on any of those tickets, you'd be able to get it. It's just you're less likely to do it if there's another date further down the line.
They don't have to give you your money back if the event isn't canceled.
Just postponed.
You can ask for it and they'll give it back to you, but they don't automatically have to give it back to you.
Whereas with WrestleMania, there was no fans in attendance, so therefore they couldn't provide the service that we had purchased. So therefore,
did they give you your money back?
Oh yeah, me and my brother got our money back.
And they're not gonna. I don't know. Maybe if they had chosen to not do WrestleMania over 2 nights and do it and say, okay, we're doing it we're postponing it to next year. You have the option or something, I don't know. But then a lot of people travel for that and put a lot of time and money into that. It's fuck, man. I've been out of work for fucking 7 months. I'm not traveling for fucking next April, I could see that fucking a lot of people. I mean, the bottom line for these fucking big businesses, WWE and stuff, is that they gotta please the fans because they are the ones paying them in the end, or at least keeping eyes on so that the fucking the advertisers can.
Yeah, I mean, they make a ton in advertising revenue, but you can't get the advertising revenue without the fan base. So you have to have one to have the other. I mean,
right.
Yeah, the $1 billion contracts with Fox and USA and all that stuff. It's all well and good.
Don't mean shit if no one's
watching.
Don't
mean shit if no one's watching. So, yeah, exactly.
And you got to hook people with wrestling live. That's the thing is that's how you really, truly you go from being a fan to truly being in love with it is when you get that live show experience, you're just fuck, okay, I get it. And you feel that energy moving through the crowd if there's a really good match. And
absolutely.
So it's a bummer, right? That we can't have live fans at live wrestling, but we've got the Thunderdome, you guys.
We do have the Thunderdome, and
we have Guess Who. It's fine.
Yeah. I played a lot of Guess Who in quarantine. I ordered that on Amazon. It's $7.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't hate the Thunderdome. Like
I don't hate it either. It's grown on me. I actually thought that recently when I was watching Clash of Champions. I was like, it's grown on me. I was like anything, I think you get used to it.
Yep.
Still don't think it's horrible, but I was two things. One, I mentioned it when they first started doing it, that like it's weird that like fans are looking straight on when something's happening, like real close. So like the ambulance match, when they were right there at the ambulance, and they're coming back around like to the corner of the ring.
They're all just
like everyone's looking dead on, and I'm like, no, you could be you kind of.
They should direct people like that. Like, hey, look over here.
Right?
Like, there's a dot on.
I noticed a lot of people too were like looking like over or like here, like they had the stream going, or someone was watching it and telling them they were on, and then they like look back and then look back and look back. Which I don't know. I was just paying attention to it. If I was like just watching the wrestling and not like picking apart that, it wouldn't fucking bother me.
Right.
So that's just me fucking picking it apart.
But by that same token, you know, like you were talking about with that ambulance match, is that it does feel different when everybody is now standing up in that section in a crowd because they can't see and they're looking over everybody onto a completely different direction.
Yeah.
When you see that in a crowd, it kind of like you have to stand up, right? So like,
and then everybody else, like you see the wave of people standing up because
yes.
they're like, wait, what are these people standing up for? And then like the hype starts to build.
It's a thing that you can't replicate in a virtual environment, really.
No, it was like when Moxley came out at Double or Nothing.
Yeah,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we all like saw people starting to lose their mind, and then we look over and like stand up, and it's the same thing. And then
where is he? What's happening?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which I did just get goosebumps as you were saying that.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, it was awesome.
That was awesome.
I did also think when I was picking apart the pixels on the Thunderdome, I was guessing who. I was thinking about how AEW has had fans, right? You know, and then I've thought about other sports that have had fans, like NFL and things like that, and are letting a certain number in. And it made me think, do you think WWE has pigeonholed themselves into this at this moment, so that they can't have fans and they're going to stick to the Thunderdome? And or when do you all think that they're going to slowly start incorporating fans and still have the Thunderdome up? Maybe
I think they're gonna do I could see them very much doing a kind of hybrid of both. That they'll almost use pieces of the Thunderdome. They'll take pieces out so that you can have some people in between pieces of the Thunderdome. I could see them doing that in Amway. And I do think you're right that they've probably made such an investment in the technology to kind of do the actual dome thing that realistically, like, it makes no sense to get rid of that right off the bat, you know, like, because that's going to be cool for people to see in real life as well. I would want to see that, you know, as part of, like, you know, an extravaganza as a production. So why not? You've already got it. Why not take that on tour when you go back to these bigger arenas? It kind of fills things out a bit. And then you can have, you know, select numbers of people in the crowds. As far as
the argument with that, though, like
sight lines,
taking that on the road, the argument with taking that on the road is how long does that take to install?
True.
And how long does it take to strike? Because that's really like, bottom line is the Raw set and the SmackDown set, when they travel them, it goes
up in a day, doesn't it? Like, it's
super quick.
Yeah,
like typically you're like, they're doing video check by lunch, so like in 5 hours or so, 5 to 8 hours, everything is done, right? And you're ready for TV.
Yeah, you can't do that with Thunderdome. You're absolutely right. That's a much bigger thing.
I would technically be kind of pissed if I paid for a ticket and then I have some jackass on a screen next to me or in front of me, and I'm like, I can't see anything. I don't know. I'd probably end up doing something stupid like tossing fucking beer on it or something. You know?
Oh, a lot of people would. I'm sure.
A lot of people would, but
and also like cabling and all that shit. That
maybe
you have to
it's not the best idea.
Like,
it'll be interesting though at the Amway Center because that's what I'm thinking is like they're slowly going to incorporate it. I don't think they're willing to give up on Thunderdome yet, but eventually they're going to incorporate it. And I don't know if it's then going to be, I don't think you can do Thunderdome with the plexiglass because you're going to get a lot of, you know, the brightness of the screens and things, reflections, all that sort of stuff.
That's a real good point.
So I think you either have to have fans up higher and have Thunderdome down lower, or you just do fans on the hard cam side separated out and then Thunderdome around the rest as the wrestlers move. They're going to have to come up with something, but then the question is how close do you then allow the seats? I guess 6 feet, 8 feet,
kind of like what AEW's been doing, right? Like if you're in the same household, you can kind of like have you
can be in the same pod,
and then like every 6 to 8 feet you can have people like kind of positioned around. I'd say that, you know, WWE would be smart to borrow off of that model, and although people might not be thrilled about it and it might seem counterintuitive to them, you do half Thunderdome, maybe like 3, 4, 5 rows of Thunderdome on the bottom level, so you're also protecting the wrestlers from the crowds by keeping them further back, much as AEW has done, and their complete lower bowl at Daly's place is sectioned off. No one sits there, and there's a huge, 30, 40 foot gap between where the first fan sits and where the
wrestlers are.
Yeah, where the wrestlers are.
That would make sense.
So
I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how they do it. Before we move on, I will say the best that I've seen anyone do it so far was Denver Broncos this past weekend, where they put the entire town of South Park.
Everybody wearing masks.
Which they nailed the fucking. They were good quality fucking cutouts. I know it's not wrestling really, but I will say fucking kudos to them for doing that. They did like every single character.
Does that stadium, does that have a retractable roof, or is that
open air?
Open air. So that sucks, man. Like if it one rain or snow and you guys are like all the cardboard cutouts are fucked. Like I hope it was someone's job that that he was just picking up.
I'm sure they're good. I'm sure they're good quality.
And
then I'm sure they also probably either covered them or picked them up and they'll put them out again.
I hope I see that. Yeah, that was a cool idea. That was a cool.
Such a Denver thing.
Which, well, WWE could do it. They could throw up some Southpaw characters or something, you know, like that would be funny. See them just in the Thunderdome.
Oh my god!
You know, like just on the screen randomly. There was a girl on Clash of Champions. I swear to God, I thought it was fucking Liv Morgan for a second. I'm like, no, it's like some like 15-year-old girl like who's just like cosplaying fucking her while watching this.
Right.
But I thought for a second it was Liv Morgan. I was like, oh, it'd be really funny if like they did put in wrestlers who aren't on the show randomly.
Papa Shango just pops up and
that would be great. That would be great. How pissed though? Because fucking Godfather's always high anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
He'll put that makeup on in a heartbeat. But how pissed would fucking Anderson and Gallows be if like Southpaw characters were in the background and they were one of them? Do you know how hard they would fucking bury everything?
You motherfuckers!
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude.
Doc's in his house just kicking down doors.
He would be fucking... Oh my god, just drinking a fucking like the 1.7 liter bottles of red wine, just fucking
from 7-Eleven.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's how they do. That's how they do. And you brought
the WWE wine?
Yes, we never got to that last week. It came out the week before. Like we meant to mention it last week, but there is a WWE series of wines that are coming out.
And they
series
only have
of bum wines.
They only have 2 so far. It was like an Ultimate Warrior and like, and then
a taker.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimate Warrior Zinfandel. 2019.
Which is fueled,
that was a great year because the world was only semi on fire.
Fueled by homophobia. It's actually full of homophobia.
I like how the Undertaker gets the Zinfandel.
No, he got the cab. He got the cab.
Oh, okay.
Ultimate Warrior got the Zinfandel.
But
like, I don't know. I feel like Undertaker should have gotten like Merlot. I feel like that's more like blood. Like,
yeah, you want that deep red.
Yeah. Regardless, nothing about this makes me want to buy it whatsoever. The images do nothing for me. The fact that WWE is selling wine does nothing for me.
The fact that
they're
still
ever buy if it would have been back in the Attitude Era if they had sold fucking Steve Weiser.
Which you can get Steve Wise. I don't know if you can get it there, but like you can get the Broken Skull IPA.
Yeah.
But also like AEW did that little bit of the bubbly, like they did that champagne run. I'm surprised none of us Marks bought that.
I was close to. I mean, I think they sell it. I think they sell it at Total Wine. I think, if I were in a store and I saw it, I would have bought it.
I know Jay got it and saved it. I know Keith got it and had some.
Of course.
So let's see how much this shit is. Hold on.
I don't know, but I'm also surprised.
Guess how much it is.
I'm also surprised that Owen, whose wife is a wine drinker, I'm surprised you're not just like, hey, honey. Here you go.
Yeah.
Try this.
No, because she'll spit it out. She'll spit it out because it'll be gross.
Dude,
it'll be
that
bum wine.
What do they want?
$100 a bottle?
It is fucking $50 a bottle plus $20 to $25 for shipping. They only sell 2, 4, and 6 packs. Oh, but if you buy a 6-pack of Undertaker wine, it's only $2.75. You save $25.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
If you're looking for a fucking,
can you mix and match?
If you're looking for a bargain on your headache, that's the one to do.
I also like that they're still using the Ultimate Warrior though too. Like
it looks like a bottle of Mad Dog though.
It does actually. Yes, it does look like a bottle of Mad Dog.
Come the fuck on! That was the first thing I thought. I'm just like Undertaker Mad Dog 2020. Like I'm scared of that.
Now
like, I'm gonna.
Yeah. If I drink that, I better be fucking like grabbing onto the ropes and fucking shaking like fucking Ultimate Warrior did as soon as I finish a bottle or something. I better be wiling the fuck out.
They missed the mark on this
in a non-racist and bigatory way.
They missed the mark on this though completely, because if they really wanted to sell a lot of this stuff and make a good profit, what you do is you don't go like the expensive $50 a bottle route. No. You go the Undertaker Mad Dog at your local liquor store route, where
Undertaker $5 chop.
$5 exactly. That's how you do it, and that's how you. I mean, because a lot more people would buy it, and they'd probably make more money off it if honestly they did it that way. It's just like
when they did the Slurpee cups at 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? Like back like 10 years ago.
Collect them all.
Well, but also they're at 7-Eleven and it's like $1.29 and you get a reusable fucking WWE cup, and I had one and I used it forever.
But if you had 5 different like types of like booze that were all about $5 to $10 a piece, you could, like people would collect them. They'd buy them all. You got Ryback Riesling.
They're the rap snacks of wrestling booze.
Rap snacks of wrestling booze. That might be the name of the show.
Somebody write it down. I'm gonna forget it.
Oh yeah.
Nothing about these descriptions though make it like, one, you don't know what vineyard they came from other than the locality in California, and the only thing is that they're quote limited edition to like 30 barrels, and they are quote expertly wax dipped.
Oh,
which means they probably hired someone from fucking DQ who fucking dips the fucking cones.
They got fired. Somebody who got fired from Maker's Mark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Oh, we'll transition into some actual wrestling talk, because it's kind of what the show's about. Yeah, we do what we want. It doesn't matter. But
it all somehow revolves into and out of wrestling.
And out. That's all we can do. And, I was in and out watching Clash of Champions, to be honest with you. There was some good. But there was some kind of bad too.
I watched it last night.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it live.
I didn't want to watch it live.
Yeah, I fast forward through a few things. I was glad they opened with the ladder match. I actually sat down and ate dinner and watched the ladder match.
Which I'm glad you did, because it was. I mean, let's just start there. It was fantastic. It really was.
It was good. I even kept my phone on the other side of the room, so I wasn't looking at it. So I was actually just paying attention.
It was fun.
It was good. It was fun. I think that was match of the night for me, in all honesty. I think. Yeah. I loved the throwback Jeff Hardy to the Mania 33 that we were at, that he did. And every time they show that replay from 33, I'm always so sketched out for him, because like that fucking ladder is wavering, man.
Wobbly as shit. You're not, and OSHA does not approve of that either.
Yeah, and definitely not. And I think you can see it. Like, I don't know. I've seen it so many times now that I think like he does like the guns to the head, you know. And I feel like he wanted to stay there for a second longer and just drink it in, man. But like, he's like, if I stay here any longer, I'm falling, go. And he just goes.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch it, just kind of watch for that. Like, you feel like he should be standing there and he's like, nope, going.
It's time.
And, yeah. But I'm glad that spot worked again. The other parts worked well with I don't know, anything through the ear with, you know, it's like that fucking just makes my skin crawl. I've got holes in my ear and
I'm out.
It makes my fucking skin crawl. Like,
that's where the match stopped for me.
Really?
Skipped to the end. Yep.
You couldn't do it, huh?
No.
It wasn't as bad as Randy's screwdriver, where he twisted the fuck out of it.
Doesn't really matter, because that still was a moment as well. Dude, but I have had, like, Matthew's got holes in his ears because he got pierced at a large gauge. Like, I could still stretch my shit back out to a 00.
Oh, no.
Like, yeah. And I'm just like, I don't want to, like, no, fuck that. This shit hurts. Like,
I imagine it does.
I literally, because I wasn't really watching, and I got a text from somebody who just said, Jeff Hardy just got a fucking handcuff put through his ear. And I was just like, ugh.
Which is attached to a ladder.
Yeah. And I was, but dude, even without, right? Like, even without, I've hung heavy enough shit from my ears that shouldn't have been there. And like, I'm like, oh, this could end real bad.
This
real
could
quick.
Rip. This could rip.
Like, yeah, just like, yeah, it's not fun. So that, but other than that, yes, like that was a banger match.
I thought it was great for Sammy too. I thought the storytelling was really great, and the fact that, you know, this whole time he's been playing it as this, you know, just like, I never lost the title, like, you know, he's that whole thing.
For a second, I didn't get. Like, I completely forgot, like, why there were two IC titles hanging at the top.
Yeah, Teresa was like, it's a tag match? Wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait, never mind. Okay, I got it. Okay, yeah, never lost it. And, you know, but I mean, he's looking crazy Fidel Castro as the Liberator. Yeah. Like, he's really gone all in, but I think I thought he was great. I'm glad he won. I like that it did it in a fucking mischievous Sammy way. You know, I thought,
but also had a great match before that part. I think too is important.
Definitely had a great match before that part. I thought all of them had a great match. There were a few moments where I thought, and this is me being a fucking smart, just picking it apart. I thought AJ looked a little stiff, and I thought there was one or two times
against
Jeff Hardy
against Jeff
stiff. Well, like, so at the beginning there, like, Jeff, he did a move on both of them close to the beginning of the match, and it just didn't look right. Like, it just didn't look like, I don't know if he wasn't warmed up or didn't get like enough momentum as he wanted. I forget exactly.
Oh, okay. So was. Stiff is in actually like stiff, and not stiff as in the wrestling working.
So they're not working stiff on each other. No, I guess that's a bad word to use in wrestling when trying to describe this, but just there were a couple of times where I was like, ooh, I was like, maybe not up to par. But they were all good as a whole. And I should probably rewatch it because I don't know if I was just being fucking picky or what as I was watching it. Because again, I had nothing to distract me.
There were certain
it wasn't around. I was actually just focused just in on the match.
Yeah, and there were. I kind of know what you mean because there were certain things that I felt like the ladders did not cooperate very well in that match at all. Like there were like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and I do feel like there were some weird little bounces and some weird little things that probably didn't click in the way that they intended initially.
Which you're right, which maybe aren't the wrestler's fault, which is maybe the ladder's fault.
It is and it isn't, right? It's an inanimate object. All it can do is basically, like I feel like
be subject to physics.
Yeah, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just doesn't want to play nice. And you saw that once, I think it was, where Jeff's trying to put Sammy on the ladder he'd made the bridge, and then like he clearly like the ladder fell off, right? And he had to go do something else to set it up again to make the spot where he climbs this, just little shit like that. Maybe it probably just slowed the match down. I think ultimately they did a great job with it. It didn't bother me too much, but yeah, I get what you mean. I didn't really see it as much with AJ as I saw it with Jeff, to be honest.
Like when AJ came over and did the fucking punch down from the ring onto the mat, like that, I guess sloppy is maybe a better term.
Yeah.
Then that I don't know, that one rings a bell. There were a couple of moves that just didn't involve. I mean, I can't do any of them, but there are a couple of moves that just threw out. And I'm not. It was match of the night for me. It was a fucking great match. I'm not trying to be
sure.
To fucking talk shit about it. I just, for some reason, that was the one match where I noticed it.
And I'm really happy.
Weird.
And I'm really happy that Sammy won, not just because it helped me in our predictions, because I was the one to guess Sammy. We all predicted differently on that one. But just because I want Sammy, I feel like this is great for Sammy. AJ and Jeff don't need that IC title as much as Sammy does right now, and I think it's a good. I think they can do a lot with him being a sneaky.
It's a good reason to put Sammy on TV.
He's a great sneaky heel that can hold that belt for a while by, being kind of a bastard.
While putting on good matches,
while putting on entertaining shows,
and with him coming back, I think it's good to put the title back on him. Let him have the run.
Yeah.
What do you think happens? What do you think they do with Jeff now?
Isn't there some weird shit with him and Randy? I mean, I know they kind of did it, but
I don't know.
I could see that.
I thought that the rumor that I heard was that he was going to be taking some time off.
That'd be good. Good for him if he does.
I mean,
but he has a lot of time left on his contract.
I don't know that he has. I mean, I guess define a lot, a
couple years. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's
because he had time off, and then he has to do that. It's like jail. He's got to serve that time.
He does, but also I know it wasn't. It wasn't years. I think it was months because of his.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because it was what prevented him from leaving with Matt. I'm pretty sure.
I thought he re-signed when Matt didn't.
He recently signed a new contract.
Yeah, so I think he signed a couple.
I just pulled up an article from September 14th, 2020, which says Jeff Hardy signs new WWE contract.
Yeah,
So he just signed a new contract
very recently, I think. Yeah,
like 10 days ago.
Well, I'm just saying it said recently, but this is when. Let's see.
Still, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, he still got to do.
I mean, he did put out a. I don't know if this is a TikTok or a Vine or an Instagram.
How does this internet work?
Whatever. Yeah, it was part of me resigning. I know y'all want it.
Oh, because he wanted his new theme, his old
video.
theme song. He wanted his old theme song. It was part of why he re-signed.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of him re-signing.
Yeah, Hardy said the return of the fan favorite theme song was part of his new contract. So
which I can't remember it.
Revealed on Twitter earlier this summer.
I don't remember the last time I actually heard Jeff Hardy's theme music.
Well, they use that one from the Hardy Boys all the time now, but it's like a stock music thing from back like in the early 2000s, the dana 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 dana, that thing. yeah, that one. Okay, stop it. So we're being so accurate that we're gonna get demonetized now because we copyright claim. But it's like a stock that you hear it on
Johnson.
Maybe.
Jim Johnson was their old music guy.
But that one isn't a Jim Johnson. It's like from some music library apparently, and you hear it on a ton of TV shows.
Jumpin' too?
What's
Jumpin' Jim Johnson.
Jumpin' Jim Johnson. But you hear it on a ton of like TV shows, that fucking theme, and I can understand why he'd be like irritated by the fact like, I've got like this stock fucking music that whatever, but.
I don't know. Apparently that was what like that theme music that he's using now is from when I wasn't watching, because I do not have any recollection of it.
Do we do a Hardy Miz feud? I mean, because I guess they're kind of doing the tag thing, him and Miz and Morrison and all that. So I don't know, I was kind of thinking that, but
I don't know where you. Like, honestly, I don't know where you put him.
Hardy Fiend?
I was about to say Hardy Fiend. Also, they did tack on 20 months to his current contract.
Wow.
Substance abuse and knee injury.
Oh, that's right.
But I will say that, I was thinking feed him to the Fiend. Like, because he can lose.
Yeah.
You can have that match. You can, and he can lose. The thing is, like, Jeff doesn't need a championship right now.
Nah, he doesn't.
No.
So he can do a lot of things. I could see a short, quick run with the Fiend, even if it was just leading up to a pay-per-view, right? And just a match where they have a good match and he's fed to the Fiend. I think, because the Fiend has to fucking eat people and destroy them at a certain point.
Yeah, he shouldn't have like really long drawn out technical matches. Like there shouldn't be a lot of back and forth. The Fiend should.
Yeah, and you could still have Jeff do in a short match, do a couple of big spots, because he can do some of that high flying stuff.
Right.
But then it's like, oh, the Fiend just like comes back from it like nothing happened. Same way Taker would fucking sit up,
that would work. That would work really well. It's also hard to say with everything because of the draft coming up. It's hard to say where you go with any of these programs. And I'll say this, I know they're on different brands right now, and I know they're both faces, but I'd be down with like a Ricochet Jeff Hardy thing. I think that could work.
I would totally be down for that.
Because then you could have
Vince gets
Jeff
back behind Ricochet.
Yeah, right. Jeff could then, elevate Ricochet to where, he needs to be, give him a bit of a spotlight. I think,
that'd be great. I'd be for that for sure.
That or like KO maybe.
KO's in this weird thing with Aleister Black.
Aleister, exactly. Yeah.
Who just lost his theme music.
Yes, he did.
They're trying to get away from everything from
CFOs.
CFOs.
Yeah. God damn it. Pay
All the
royalties.
good shit, man.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They don't want, dude. They're so petulant and stubborn when it comes to this shit. It is unbelievable.
I can't believe that the CFOs were able to maintain the rights to some of that stuff. Like that seems like an oversight on WWE's part from the beginning. Also, if those of you who are listening, if you don't know who CFOs are, they were the music force that came after Jim Johnson that wrote like Glorious, Shinsuke Nakamura's theme, just to name a couple.
Everybody's shit, Aleister Black.
Yeah, a lot of the good stuff that came out of the last maybe 4 years or so, I want to say.
Longer than that, probably 5 or 6 years.
But yeah,
because they were putting out bangers before I got married, and I got married 4 years ago next week. So
I mean, I just typed it in, and the first things that pop up on when I type in CFO's WWE music into Google, I see Glorious Domination, Bobby Roode, Take a Chance, SmackDown, Phenomenal, AJ Styles, Soft as a Sin, Root of All Evil.
I forgot they did Enzo and Cass's shit.
Yeah. Gallantry, Defining Moment, Drew McIntyre. Done with that. Day One, so the Usos. Black and Blue, SmackDown, Catch Your Breath, Finn Balor.
The Canalises.
Ty Dillinger, Retaliation, Dean Ambrose. So they do have, Metallica, Grand Metalik, Destroyer, Samoa Joe.
That'll be interesting. Not hearing the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, Bruiserweight.
If he comes back.
I guess it just depends on when the
licensing runs out.
Yep.
Yeah. So they must have bought it for a certain amount of time, and that's that. Like, but it just seems like a really big, weird oversight for WWE to have to not secure, like, that type of, like, I don't know, intellectual license for, something that they could potentially be using for, 20 years. Who knows? In some cases, like, it's a kind of bizarre thing to me. But anyway, what happened else on? Okay, yeah, that's right. Highlights of Clash.
What happened?
Highlights on the fucking the thing on the Clash of
highlights
Champions.
Include God did not want me to watch the Roman Reigns Uso match.
Apparently not,
because lightning struck like just out there, and it fried my. It makes my Apple TV have to go to the Genius Bar on Thursday, and it fried my fucking modem. So
fucking rude, Florida. Rude.
Yeah, I was just like, all I want to do is just watch the rest of this pay-per-view.
That's fucked.
The next highlight for me of the pay-per-view would have been the Street Profits Garza match. Street Profits Garza and
forgot about the fuckery.
What's his name? Goddamn now. Angel Garza. Andrade. Thank you. So
that's his dad's mask right there.
Oh, look at that. I did not know that. That's pretty fucking rad. But yes, it seemed very odd that finish to that match was clearly not meant to be that way, was it not? I mean, I don't know. Like, the finish...
No, it wasn't. So apparently what I read was that Garza got hurt.
Yes. Garza hurt his quad or somewhere on it, something on his hip or something, I want to say.
Hurt something bad.
And
they just, like, went to a weird fucking...
two,
and his shoulders clearly up, and so it's just like, I don't know if they addressed it yesterday on Raw.
I don't think they did. Yeah, they don't.
They're just like, no, what happened? Nothing happened. It's fine. Win.
From the highlights that I saw, I'm not even sure that they were on the show. I didn't watch Raw either. I was watching the Stanley Cup Finals. But yes, it did seem odd. That thing might have actually helped me win in predictions, because something tells me that
I did the Street Profits too.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. I guess it wouldn't have changed things too much. It just would have made it a 3-way tie with Matthew. Because the Street Profits ended up picking that one up. Although Meltzer today, I read, said that, yes, the finish was changed, but the Street Profits were supposed to win. But then again, it's Meltzer, so who the hell, fucking knows.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter. It was, you could just see, though, the look on, like, Dawkins' like, face. Like, what? Huh?
They were just like, okay, obviously, like, clearly that's not what was supposed to happen, but the bell's ringing, the music is going, like, so we're rolling with it, like, so.
He almost looked a little pissed at first, like,
probably. I'm sure they were.
Probably didn't get some shit in that they were gonna do or something like that. Who knows? Of course, Riot Squad got canceled. Riot Squad versus I guess Shayna and Nia Jax for women's championships. We all picked Riot on that. But no, like the other highlights would have been just the ambulance match and the main event with Roman and Jey Uso, which with ambulance
talking about
the ambulance match wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
No, but I will say that I forgot about Big Show and Shawn Michaels being a thing, and also
Christian and
Lightning struck before I actually saw any of that. So Lightning struck shortly after Big Show, and then I didn't see anything else. So it was just like, okay. And I've been fighting with the internet the whole day yesterday. So
I was a little bit kind of just. I'm two ways about it. I didn't hate it because I think it's a nice way to put a bow on the story of Drew and Randy. Like, finally we can be done with that because it's been going on for quite a while. But it also I don't know. It doesn't make Drew look the strongest after the Big Show does a choke slam through a table to Randy. You've got Christian throwing Randy around in catering, throwing him through tables. Then you got Shawn Michaels super kicking him off a fucking, ambulance. To have Drew then have that much trouble putting Randy away kind of makes him look a little weak, I guess. But I wasn't that mad. I don't know. It could have been a lot worse of a match for me. They made it pretty entertaining. I was guessing. I was
way better than the Edge Randy Orton match at Mania.
Yeah,
and I will say that I've said it before. I was never a huge fan of Drew McIntyre, and then when he started getting his push and got the title, the 2 months leading up to that, I kind of started getting on board. I still have never really been fully on board. He's never really done anything, but for some reason, I thought he actually looked really good in this match.
Yeah.
I thought he did, and I was like, oh, okay. For some reason, I was like, this. It didn't. Not all of his matches bore me. I'm not saying that, but this one, I don't know. For some reason, I was just like,
you were more excited about than most.
When I watched him wrestle, like when he was doing spots and everything, like, I don't know, I could see. I mean, you even saw it on his back with the welts and the blood, and so like, dude was putting in work. And I think that really actually maybe had something to do with it. Like, he was really pushing it, and I think that, I don't know, he looked good to me. And for someone who's not a huge fan and has never been a huge fan but has bought into it, this match was better for him than a lot of other ones. Randy Orton, on the other hand, I mean, who could ever forget my favorite match ever, the Punjabi prison match with him and Jinder Mahal?
All-time classic.
The greatest match of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
6 stars. There's not enough stars.
I don't know how they actually had the greatest match ever after that match.
I know. It's tough.
But regardless, I mean, but Randy Orton, still, even watching that match, there was a moment when they got to the ambulance the first time, and he went up to the driver's side door, right? And I think he had just gotten, I don't want to say Claymore kicked, but he had just gotten like knocked down, or he had just done something to Drew, something like that, at the rear end of the ambulance. And then he went to the driver's side door. So the camera is shooting from the front of the ambulance.
Yep.
He's like opening the door of the driver's side door. And I actually rewound it 3 times because I thought it was in slow motion. I was like, did I hit slow-mo or something? And it was just the way he was moving and like opening the door. It was so precise. And then I thought, those are the little fucking things that make, certain stars and things so believable. Like, he was obviously scheming something, checking something.
It's pure storytelling at that point.
Yep. Yeah, and it was. I don't know. I know, like I said, first time I saw it, I really thought it was in slow motion. Second time, I was like, I don't think so. And I was like, I don't know, because I thought maybe the camera lagged, the feed lagged.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't. But I don't know. Maybe that's why I thought the match was okay. It wasn't great, but it was
serviceable. It worked. It did what it needed to do, and the nice touch of Flair driving the ambulance away, I think, hopefully puts the feud to rest, and we can move on from here.
They shouldn't let Ric Flair drive.
No, I was saying that.
I'm just like, what did you say? I heard the woo, but I didn't hear anything else. He's like, woo! Like, okay.
It's pretty much
Flair.
Classic Flair.
But no, he, it was the right victor. I'm glad that Drew, lives to see another day as champion. Where do they go with this? Are they going to throw Keith Lee in there? Is it
too quick?
Is it too quick? I mean, do also like the potential, of course, with Survivor Series around the corner. Do they do something with a Drew versus Tribal Chief match? Do they go there already? Because I don't know that they do.
No, but Drew did mention that he would. I think he mentioned that he would face Roman.
Well,
because somebody said some sort of comment about this, and that's where this Rumble got started, right? So the the rumors of a unification match for the titles, and I'm like, but do you want to do that? Do you want to make it so that there's just one champion again? I guess you could. There's no reason not to, but at the same time,
yeah, it seems way too soon. It doesn't seem like a smart idea. And yeah, you're right. Fox in particular.
Yeah, like they won't want to not have
a title.
Yeah, a main title, right? Because the IC title is one thing.
Well, the IC title will always be a mid-card belt. Like that's what we know it as. That's what its lineage and legacy is. It's the mid-card belt.
It's supposed to be the belt that the best wrestler has.
Not the biggest draw. Yeah, work rate.
But the best actual wrestler, like the wrestler that deserves it the most, but they're not the guy.
Absolutely.
That's
rumors
and innuendo.
Tom Calhoun is saying that Randy Orton was always going to get this rematch because the match between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, which is now booked for Clash of Champions, is supposedly part of a long-term feud that will likely run into Hell in a Cell as well as finish around Survivor Series time.
Wait, so there's Hell in a Cell
It was always supposed to be in that position.
Yeah, there's Hell in a Cell before.
So he's saying we might get 2 more of these matches.
Jesus Christ, I don't know if I can handle the excitement.
I did like how McIntyre did punt kick him.
Yeah, it was kind of a shitty punt kick though. Like there wasn't. If you watch it back, like it doesn't really connect quite right.
We just are never happy.
I know we can't be. Except I was very happy with the main event. And a lot of people have been shitting all over it, saying it was the most boring match ever. And yes, was it a work rate match between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso? No, it was not. But talk about story. Talk about officially really turning Roman Reigns heel. Really showing you what this new character of Roman is and how to get it over. Thought it was brilliant. I thought they did a fantastic job. And I thought it ended the right way too with Jimmy Uso throwing in the towel for Jey. What were your thoughts?
I think they made Jey look really strong. I think really helps him.
Yep.
I think that helps him a lot.
What you didn't? What?
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was horrible. I don't get everyone hating on it. I don't think it was a horrible match by any means. If you're hating on it, it's probably because you don't like Samoans, and if Owen said it was okay, then you probably need to reassess your opinion on Samoans. Or Samoas. But
first of all,
No one talks shit about Samoas. They're the greatest Girl Scout
I was
cookie
just like,
ever.
I'm very sad that I don't have any of those. I should have a case with this goddamn pandemic.
I should have been eating them while watching that match. Eating some Samoas while watching some Samoa seems like the best way to do that. Mm-hmm. But overall, I thought it was a good match. I thought, them starting out by Roman fucking working him really hard, working Jay really hard, and then having Jay being able to come back.
Looking like a beast, by the way, too, with no shirt and like just like fucking in the best shape that we've ever seen Roman, really. Like,
did you see what's her name? Renee Young's tweet.
She was gushing over him.
Yeah, she was like, dang, something
she got a little wet.
Like, Roman, those abs. She's like, I'm allowed to say this without it being weird, but those abs, damn.
Renee was a little, oof.
But yeah, no, I thought it was good. I think the ending was good. It made it still. Jay had a good outing, and I like that. Like, there wasn't a whole ton of fuckery with Paul Heyman like there usually was with Brock Lesnar things, and it wasn't a complete squash. It was an actual wrestling match that lasted like 30 minutes.
I liked that Paul Heyman actually looked scared of Roman. That if Paul Heyman kept at it, that it's almost the what is this monster I've created type scenario. I liked it. For real, like you can see all of Paul Heyman all over this Roman Reigns. So to have, maybe a different dynamic where Roman is more heel than Paul Heyman, it's kind of something interesting and a new twist to the whole scenario. And he's, I like the whole I do like the tribal chief. I think they banged it into our heads a little bit too much throughout the match. They kept, it was one of those ad nauseum WWE things.
Did the T-shirt come out yet? Because that's the only thing that could possibly mean.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on its way if it hasn't already. But yeah, like they bang that into our heads, and yeah, like the whole directing of Roman telling Paul Heyman to get the lei or what have you, the Samoan flower lei, to almost crown him the tribal chief after that. Like that, I don't know, like it worked for me. I'm not sure where you go with Roman next, but again, hard to judge without the draft, knowing what they do with the draft.
Yeah, it's fucking draft.
I know. It's fucking and it's over 2 nights, of course, this next time. SmackDown.
So it's over Friday and then Monday.
Yeah,
that's it. They did that last time.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Because I was unfortunately at.
That's right. You were at one, weren't you? Yeah.
It was fucking stupid.
Yeah. At least there's no fans in attendance this time, so they don't have to bum people like you out that pay good money.
Time.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
right.
So stupid. Did you guys see that the stable that cannot be contained because they do what they want when they want, Retribution, who then signed contracts, they are now in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yes,
so
I did see quarantined.
That. So coronavirus goes harder than Retribution.
You know what, though? It'll give them more time to Twitter while they're sitting at home in quarantine.
Oh, because they've been doing it good. So fucking good though.
Yeah, tell me, Duncan, run us through, because you've been sending me them all. Run us through your favorite Retribution tweets of the last week.
My favorite one. All right, so admittedly, T-Bar, which is that Dominic Dijakovic?
Yeah,
I forget. Okay.
Yeah.
So not slap nuts. Not slap.
I know which one you're talking about,
dude. So T-Bar, like, he had the most ridiculous tweet, right? And then Jericho responded with, "Huh?" ? And then T-Bar with the clapback of all clapbacks, and this I fucking love. He just posted a screen cap of a bunch of headlines of, Chris Jericho concert linked to COVID outbreak in Sturgis and just like posted that and goes, huh? I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was just fucking brilliant.
You kneecapped Jericho. Like you beat him at Twitter.
They've been doing it like this whole time. I sent you a great one. What was it today? I'm sure you saw it before I saw it, but I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was the oh no, my name is short for Mace. It was the Mace one, right? Like, yeah. My name is like Mason. It's a nickname. This is very rude, and it's all, of course. And then he's in that weird text, like crunchy, and then it says crunchy. So it's, I don't know what that part's about. And then T-Bar responds, retweets and responds to Mace's or Mace's comment and says, T-Bar, my name is Terry Barella. Like, fuck you. Like, is this a way to turn Retribution around, though? Could this, because I even said something about this, I think, last week, like, whereas could you turn them into slightly a comedic act, make it a bit more like the Dark Order? Is it going to be a bit of a rip-off of Dark Order on being the elite and kind of have a goofy connotation? And now, after seeing all these tweets, this was before all those tweets happened.
Yeah.
Now, after seeing all these tweets, it's like, no, shit, that could work. Like, this might be the way to actually save Retribution. And
it might be.
And I'm very sorry that they got exposed to COVID and they have to take 2 weeks of quarantine. But this might be a weird blessing in disguise if they don't get, of course, any physical damage or don't get.
So they have to quarantine. Interesting. Yeah. It's the whole group?
Believe so. Like, all 5 of the main group that have been out there, they all have to quarantine from what I have read. I don't know how true that is. I'm not exactly a wrestling journalist, but
no, it's just
but they can still keep the jabrones. They can fucking still put people in hoods and jabroni them out there and cause havoc if they want. But like,
it's interesting.
And with a 2-week quarantine, this might be able to reinvigorate them when they come back. Like, it's that after having such a kind of, that debut, this might, in conjunction with the comedic element that they're applying on Twitter, could be something that makes it work, actually.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it's just funny that, like, seeing on Twitter, Shayna Baszler, being like, it's not COVID, and then knowing that all 5 members of Retribution have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and also knowing that Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, Mia Yim, and Tegan Knox were all roommates until this weekend when they all moved out of each other's house.
Yeah, but you know that. Not a lot of other people know that.
I know that. I put that together by literally looking at Mia Yim's Twitter.
I did not know that until you said it. So I think they're banking.
She posted a picture of all of them together, and it was just like best roommates ever or whatever. And it's like all of them and Keith Lee. So it's just like,
is that why Keith Lee was not on the pay-per-view? I don't think Keith Lee was on Raw last night, if I'm not mistaken, either. So
I'm not sure. I wouldn't know at all. But
it would certainly add up, though, would it? Would it not?
I mean, but all I'm saying is just like, if you're posting it on your personal Twitter account, which, like, I just happen to follow Mia Yim because I like her as a wrestler, right?
Sure.
It's not, and there are some creepy fucking people who, stalk the shit out of wrestlers on Twitter. And I just don't, like, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a thing that makes you go, that's all.
No, it definitely does. It definitely does. I do
not want to spread any conjecture.
We've
That's
talked.
all I'm saying.
I will say, I've read a few articles about them, more than a few, that liken them to when Hogan turned to Hollywood. Hogan joined the NWO. NWO was there to take over the promotion that they were from within. Then in those same articles saying that Bullet Club was doing something very similar. And so WWE is taking kind of like those things. But the thing that is lacking right now is that the wrestlers don't have any individual draw or individual character attributes, whereas Bullet Club and NWO obviously had these big names who are wrestlers in and of themselves, so they could dress the same, look the same, that sort of stuff, but they were characters, and their characters were individuals in and of themselves that were known. So Retribution doesn't have that, and that might be something that has technically been lacking with the way that this was executed, because they weren't speaking leading up to it, and the quote taking over.
They've also
all that sort of stuff. Do you think that?
No, that
do you think that those correlations cross WWE's creative's mind when they're doing this?
I don't know that that's the route that they're going. In my mind, they have been writing this as it goes every single week, so they've never known where it was going. Where at least Bischoff had a clue and had like that star power. It's you can't ever. I don't think you can make the the commonality between NWO and Retribution. They are two different things. They're far different. They could benefit right now by having I would equate them seriously. I would equate them more to a Brody Lee Dark Order than I would an NWO. And if you were to go that route with them, you can make it work. But it all depends. Who's going to be our Brody Lee? Is it Dijakovic? Do we go with like? They've been doing a lot of this more hacking type stuff on screens and whatnot. Do we go back to the SmackDown hacker? Do we have
that was the thing I forgot.
Do we have a Mustafa Ali who's just reappeared on television very recently? Come in.
He cannot
and do
run
this?
Retribution.
No, he would not be the right person.
No, because he used to be a cop. Come on, we can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like the dude in the back of the van in the movies. He's like, all right, we're in. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like, he that's Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. You still
Not
need
hating on
someone.
the guy. I like actually watching him wrestle. He's a fucking good wrestler, good worker. But I don't think he has the staying and or character power to be the leader of Retribution. Yeah, he ain't got the charisma.
He ain't got the charisma.
You got to be Jumpin' Jack Johnson.
I still don't know who you pick though. I still don't know who you like that would really save it if we're doing like the badass side of the stable. If we're not making it into a joke, who do you pick to make it into like that?
Even if you are gonna make it sort of like that borderline joke thing, like the Dark Order is, who's the leader?
We need a leader. We do need a leader. Absolutely, we need a leader.
And I don't think Dijakovic has the drawing power or the name recognition to be that. Like,
it's a tough one.
Like, it's a tough one because they put him in the masks.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe if I think about that, I'll come up with something. But
so what about this? So I'm not buying. So I just did a quick search. I'm not buying anything that's coming up. They're saying Triple H, Daniel Bryan, fucking Randy Orton. Don't see any of that. No, Bray Wyatt. I don't see that.
D-Bry might work though.
Adam Pearce.
Not big enough name.
Postman Pierce.
So what if it ends up being Roman? Roman has been on podcasts saying that he is like this mob. He keeps saying like this mob boss mentality, right? And he's like got someone like Paul Heyman who can do the legal work, like the attorney, the lawyer that gets him out of the shit. But he's like the strong arm behind it. And he has said this on podcast, not word for word, obviously, but he's constantly alluded to this mob persona where he is slowly rolling things out over time.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Over time, he fucking is the one who is in charge of them because which then helps build these younger superstars because they then have these ties to Roman Reigns. They were big in NXT, but now they're up to the main roster, not necessarily called up by their NXT names. Now have a tie-in with him, so he doesn't necessarily have to work with them, but it turns out that he and or Paul Heyman
they're pulling the strings,
and you never even have to see him with them.
I kind of dig that. I'm
kind of for that, actually.
Yeah, I think that could work. I think that could work quite well. I don't think maybe that's why there'll be a slow build with that, just because
I think it's a slow roll.
If
you do that, I'm not saying it's right, but I just don't like I said on quick searches that I just did. I was like, none of these names, fuck, Daniel Bryan is not the leader of Retribution. Fuck you, internet. That one kind of makes more sense than other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, especially since they're slow rolling. They said that he was going to change the attire or change his music. They did one of the two this last pay-per-view.
Right.
So.
Oh, did they not change the music?
They
didn't
not
change the music, but
it was still Roman, boring.
You got to do things a little bit at a time to make sure he's over. Can't change it all at once.
Yeah, and they've got a really hot property on their hands right now. He's the talk of the town. So why would you rush into anything with Retribution right away if you are going to go that direction? Yeah, no, you that's a slow burn. I like it. I kind of dig it. I have this weird feeling that Retribution's just going to end up at Survivor Series battling the Hurt Business, and the Hurt Business is going to win. And then you don't see Retribution anymore. But
I don't know.
There is that too.
Their whole thing was show up, wreck things, and leave also.
Yeah, it's a really good point. We got to transition a little bit into AEWs, and thankfully we have a ton of AEW questions from our good friend Deuce over on our Facebook, facebook.com/groups.
I'm sorry, he's asking AEW. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Orange Cassidy. I don't know.
I thought that Orange Cassidy match last Wednesday was fucking great.
It was great. And there's there are a lot of questions surrounding that, and surrounding, of course, one of the first ones here is, where is AEW going next? I feel like they're in for a big change storyline-wise, and need to get some balls moving fast. Kenny's heel turn, the Bucks heel turn. Also, we need to see what Cody is doing next, and will he start a new Four Horsemen? We've talked about that before. We think that that's a possibility. Cody's new. What did you guys think of Cody's new look on Wednesday? He's back.
I was for it.
Very dark hair, like extra dark.
Yeah, I was for it.
He looked. I mean, he's always got a snazzy suit, so that was. I mean, he had a snazzy suit.
Yeah, he was wearing like velvet or velour shoes or something like that. I thought that was funny.
Teresa liked her.
But regardless, I mean, I don't know. It worked, I guess. I think it would have worked more if he was gone longer.
Yeah, I thought it was too soon. Way too soon.
That is just my opinion. And how is it bullshit to state an opinion? Yeah, you guys ever seen High Fidelity?
Yeah.
But I will say that I don't know, the Cody thing worked. The Kenny thing, when he came out and was a commentator for the Hangman match.
Yep.
Which I like Adam Page's new ring gear. I will say that
he's wearing pants apparently. Like he's sticking with the pants or something like that.
I like the new ring gear.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I don't need to see a dude in fucking in a speedo and in chaps. I don't know if does that tickle your fancy on? Sounds like it does.
Absolutely.
Must be a British thing.
Yeah, well, I like my cowboys in appropriate attire.
But he's getting chafed riding those horses without pants on, man. But regardless, I liked when Kenny came out, and you could just kind of, he's doing that kind of heelish, but it's like this like general malaise, that he's having, and especially on commentary, he's like, yeah, I seem to be here more than in the ring nowadays.
It feels
like
it's
it
very
here.
it's like, very subtle. It's very subtle. All the little jabs, and he's pretending like, oh no, we're good friends. I wish him the best. I'm good on him.
And then they talk, and they're like, well, you were a tag team champion for long, and he's like, yeah, I'm not in a tag team. I'm not a tag team wrestler. That's done. I'm a solo wrestler. He's singles wrestler. That's it. Just the way he was talking, it wasn't like with this strong conviction, but it was like I said, it was like a general malaise, but I believed what he was saying. Like, I'm done with it. I'm moving on. And like, I think the way he was playing it was like this kind of like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to like go in singles and like fuck people up. Is kind of what but like without saying that, that's what I'm expecting from singles Kenny coming up.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you on that one. I think that you hit the nail on the head there. I think that, I couldn't really add much more to that because, I mean, that seems like the direction for Kenny. As far as the Young Bucks go, do you think we're gonna go full heel Young Bucks, or are we gonna just, what are they doing before the inevitable FTR match again? Like that's what it comes down to for me, is who are the Young Bucks going to feud with? How do they extend this? Maybe they are.
I feel like what you do is, like, obviously they're going to have another match with FTR, and I think there'll be a stipulation or something that like the Bucks have to go to the very bottom of the list and work their way
fight up
to be able to face them again before eventually winning the tag championships from FTR.
Well, that kind of fits in with what FTR has said with their announcement on Wednesday, which it was very confusing when they had that promo with Tully, and they were trying to explain that like they're doing an open challenge, but only they pick the person they want to do the open challenge against with, I guess. Like it's like the opposite of an open challenge, but an open challenge. It I don't know. It didn't make much sense to me. Did you get it more than I did?
The hand-picked challenge.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But that fits in with the Young Bucks thing, in that, like, hey, we're never going to pick the Young Bucks until they absolutely have to down the road, maybe?
The Young Bucks are really good heels. Like, they make a lot of money as babies, but goddamn, are they really good as heels? Like, that's the thing.
Could you turn
still
FTR,
make just as much money?
Could you turn FTR face, you think?
I think there's room in the universe of AEW for both teams to be heel.
Yeah, that's especially the tag division, which it's just so deep at this point, really. Like,
right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and they can probably still have a heel versus heel match and still make it work.
Yeah.
And the Bucks have been facing AEW since AEW's inception, which we just came up on over a year, a little over a year now, I think.
Mm-hmm. A year and 7 months, I think we're at.
So, it is time. I think it's time for them to do it.
Did you guys see the, of course, the MIRO debut? What were your thoughts on, or like ring debut?
Did he He legit hurt himself in that match.
He did, and he's
sounds
okay,
like he's
but he
okay.
Yeah,
He's
he's okay, but I mean,
he tweaked his ankle or something like that. We've all done that, right? Where it like hurts for like a couple minutes, or you take a wrong step off a curb or whatever.
dude,
like
we've
all done something stupid
when,
like
when
that.
I'm super kicking people on the sidewalk, sometimes I slip off as I'm walking away.
That's why I brought it up, because Duncan,
you remember
Duncan couldn't walk for a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, because I'm just stupid and fell the fuck over. So yeah, I understand. I understand completely.
A lot of people were shitting all over that match though, and saying it was a botched debut, and
shitting all over something.
Oh yeah,
that was a bad match.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad match. I think there were a couple of spots that didn't go the way that they were intended to go. But much like we were talking about with the Sammy, AJ, Jeff Hardy match, sometimes just things don't go the way they're supposed to go. And I don't think it's anybody's particular fault. I don't think it was Miro's fault. People were saying it was ring rust. He didn't look rusty at all to me.
Let me ask a question though. Do you think that it could be a difference in the style of people who were only trained in WWE versus people who have wrestled on independents?
That's a very fair and actual, like, real wrestling,
like that's
legitimate question.
Question, right?
It is. It is. I mean, I being a person that's never stepped into the ring, I could honestly never answer that without just being hyperbolic or speculative.
Obviously, none of us are professional wrestlers, but I would have to think that when WWE,
it might play a part. It might play a part in that.
It really could, because there's so like their style, especially for people who were like farm raised, for lack of a better term, WWE.
Yep.
You know, I think Miro probably had some independent stuff.
Yeah, he trained with Rikishi and Gangrel in the early days.
Exactly. So like but for the most part, you learn everything about being in the ring on that level from WWE, and in their system, it's got to throw off the way that you're used to working with people who
not only that, look at the size of the competitors he was against that evening. Like, Miro came back, and I mean, he looked phenomenal. He's got, like, I don't know where you get these things from that just like camel humps. Those traps were ridiculous. And on top of that, like, he was in great shape. But look at the size of the guys. Like, I mean, Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss, and you know, even his tag team partner, Kip Sabian.
Well, that leads me to think, like, one great point, Duncan.
Yes, it was a great point.
And like, I think that then makes me think more about what I was going to say, which is I think it was smart for them to do a tag match with him first, as opposed to doing a singles match.
He's probably going to knock off some ring rust as well, too.
Did you do a tag match because of reasons that you just brought up? There's not necessarily ring rust, but there is necessarily, like, just
getting
WWE
him in.
That you got to work out when you're working with a tag team. You have less time for people to notice. You have more time to watch other people up close. You can do other things. That makes a lot more sense to me, because
get him into the system, make him figure. Yeah, like with any sports team, if you trade a guy for a guy and he comes into your sports organization, whether it be NFL, hockey, whatever it is, there's a certain period of time that you have to develop within the coach's system. Like, everything needs to start clicking. You know, like, you might be a great athlete, you might be the best athlete on the team, but if you're not clicking with the rest of everybody else, it doesn't really matter, does it? You know, you have to. It's
like Tom Brady going to the Bucks. Bucks. There's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve with that. I would assume. I don't watch football, but I'm just throwing out names.
Cam Newton going to the Patriots.
Exactly.
I think that's a great example.
So I will say it was good. I didn't know that Miro was gonna wrestle, and especially in the first match of the night. So I was actually pleasantly surprised by that. Overall, not horrible. Overall, not the best, but I think it was good to work him in. And I think it will work him to a good solo in-ring debut.
There's a lot of there's so much pressure put on anybody coming like Miro is all elite and everybody just like expects him to have a 5-star match out of the gate. And it's just like, it's not realistic. Like, let him work his way into a brand new company.
Much in this,
obviously,
sorry,
you know,
sorry,
no. I was just gonna say that, like, obviously they've been keeping him being a part of it a secret, so it's not like he's able to get in there and really work with people.
He's not working dark matches, is he? Yeah, like it's stupid. Right. Yeah.
I will say really quick before we get off that, did you guys see on Sunday Sonny Kitz's tweet?
Yes, good for
about his ass.
Her,
he
him,
said,
or
look,
whatever.
You guys know I don't care about the ridiculous comments online at all. However, please stop with the quote "put pants on" and quote "nobody wants to see that" when there's plenty of your fave wrestlers who wear much less than me, and then make it make sense.
Yeah.
And then after that, he says, keep the same energy when your favorite wrestler
wiggling his dick around or
emoji
whatever
is flopping around everywhere in their trunks, and ignore my peach emoji like you ignored that. And just even seeing some of the responses like were just so funny, because I mean, a lot of people were obviously, most of them were fully behind it. And I can't see it now looking through Twitter, but I know when I saw it on Sunday, it popped up on my phone and said, you should read this. Like some of the tweets were like with some guy responded like, yeah, I mean, your butt just makes me think I'm gay for 10 seconds. And 10 seconds later, I'm like, oh, whoa,
I guess I'm gay.
And then I question my sexuality. And he's like, because I thought you had a good ass. He's like, but you actually have a good ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, and that doesn't make me gay. And he's like, everyone's just scared of questioning their own sexuality. Like, you do you. And I was like, that dude. Fucking that dude.
I'll be the first to say I think Sonny Kiss's ass is Sonny Kiss. I corrected myself. I think it's fantastic. I mean, I might do something with it if drunk enough. So yeah, call me gay, I guess. But I think she looks fantastic. And moving on, we were talking about AEW again. Still. How did you feel? And this kind of ties into the what we were saying about Miro working, obviously in one system coming into AEW. But what about Eddie Kingston, who has wrestled Jon Moxley plenty of times? Like, they go back a lot. What did you think of the match between the two of them? Because honestly, it was just like a fucking brawl, really. Like, it was a lot of heavy hitting slaps. It was a fight, as Eddie Kingston likes to say. I don't think anybody expected Eddie Kingston to beat Jon Moxley for the AEW championship, but I thought it was a good way to still keep him looking fairly strong, in that he never gave up. He never tapped out. Jon Moxley just made him pass out.
Yeah, which is more of that grappling style Moxley that I think we're starting to see. The chops that they traded back and forth, Kingston had way better chops. I will say.
He was so red. Moxley was so red with
fucking killer, and they were loud as fuck.
Yes,
Moxley's did not even fucking like hit the dial on the meter. Like, the meter didn't even bump a little bit, like when compared to Kingston.
I agree.
Each one I was like, woo, when Kingston did it, and then fucking Moxley did. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Come on, bro.
I know you can do better. Overall, I thought it was good. Like you said, it was a brawl, and you know what? I expected them to have a fucking brawl, especially since it was a match that came up basically out of nowhere.
Yep.
And
it was supposed to be.
But I was fucking entertained through the entire match. I'm glad that fucking Eddie Kingston came out earlier in Dynamite and fucking cut that promo.
Yep.
I think it worked. I think it built to the match, and I think that match will eventually lead to more of a wrestling match later on. They're
not done yet.
They're not done.
Their story's not over.
And we're gonna eventually see a little bit more technical wrestling with that brawling.
No, I agree. I think that Eddie Kingston's got a bright future. And one of the things that I noticed today is that they're reporting that Eddie Kingston, AEW on Twitter said this, Eddie Kingston gets to decide Jon Moxley's opponent for tomorrow's Dynamite.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm like, where are they going with that? Especially when I know the week before, when Eddie Kingston had his match, Eddie Kingston took the place of Lance Archer, who had to stay away for, COVID exposure reasons and what have you, which glad they did that. But then, of course, you had Eddie Kingston's midi sort of stable with the Lucha Bros and Butcher Blade come out and fight, and then Taz came out with Ricky Starks. And so where, what does Eddie Kingston do now to
you know what I want to see so bad,
Penta,
and this will only pop me and a bunch of other I want to see Homicide.
Oh, well, that would be a great yes. I know he's buddies with Homicide. The Lucha Brothers are buddies with Homicide.
Santana and Ortiz are buddies with Homicide. And that just sort of works that way in to you reforming LAX,
the old LAX,
without calling the old LAX, but Eddie Kingston, Homicide, Santana Ortiz, Diamante.
That would actually make perfect sense if Eddie Kingston brings Homicide in to face Jon Moxley. Homicide doesn't have to win. Homicide won't win, but at the same time, now you've given him
great
that
way to make them all elite.
Great way to do it.
If anything, all elite needs more people all elite because they don't have enough.
Yeah.
But it is a great way to do it.
If
you're going to do it.
Did you get yours yet? I got my All Elite banner. Did you get your All Elite banner yet?
I'm All Elite?
Yeah, I'm All Elite. You didn't?
Yeah,
I'm
All Elite too.
Okay, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's making its round on the
Yeah. I think Duncan got his. He just got his. It's like getting the blue check on Twitter, right? It's you're verified.
I'm verified on Twitter and OnlyFans and.
And apparently we're all elite.
yeah, I'm all elite.
Do we want to, before we let this thing go too long, do we want to do some quick predictions for NXT's Takeover 31?
Forgot this was even happening.
Yeah, we should do that real quick. Thankfully, there's
Jesus Christ, 31 though.
I know, right? How long? Thankfully, there's only 5 matches on this card. One was announced today for the it's a singles match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship between Santos Escobar, the champion, and Isaiah Swerve Scott.
God damn, that's gonna be a hot fucking match. That's gonna be neat.
That's gonna be a good ass match, man.
Santos.
You going Santos, huh? All right. He's going in early, Duncan.
Oh man, here we go.
I know, right?
Well, it's just are they still trying to do something with that stable? I'm gonna go Santos because Swerve can still they're gonna have a good match, but Swerve doesn't need to win. Because if they're still trying to do something with that stable with Santos, I feel like they're gonna want him to have the
belt. Right. No, you're not.
Adds legitimacy.
I'm gonna go Swerve Scott on this one.
Of course.
I'm gonna do that.
I hope it's Swerve.
Yeah, I do too. Ooh, second match. I guess Duncan, you'll be up next. I'm just picking random.
Kushida.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I was
Kushida over Velveteen.
Yeah, Kushida and Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Bury that kitty toucher.
Unfortunately, I just on my paper had to write KKK, and that is not for anything.
I hope that wasn't by habit.
No, it wasn't. 666 is by habit. KKK is totally different.
Yeah. It could be Kushida.
Right.
Ku.
It's interesting how Wikipedia has this laid out from 1 to 5, but we all know that that's never completely right. I feel like the next match on the card will probably be Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Yeah, I go back and forth on this one. This one might be the hardest one for me to call of all of them.
I mean,
exactly.
I think this then goes to whether Candice LeRae wins.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, that would be the next match. I think I would.
But there wasn't much of a.
Not
from
much
what
of a
I know,
build,
and I haven't
really.
followed it fully, there wasn't much of a fucking build other than Gargano saying he wants a title.
I think that they had to do some rewriting because of some medical things.
I got that feeling too, Duncan.
So
I think Damian Priest retains.
Yeah, see, like, and I'm of two minds. I'm just like, oh, they're not gonna have. I'm gonna go Johnny.
I don't think they're gonna have everyone retain the title, but my picks are for everyone to retain the title.
Right,
Spoiler.
and part of me is like, I don't think that they're gonna have. It goes one of two ways: either Damian Priest and Io Shirai both retain, or Johnny and Candice win titles and they become even more obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean,
that is where I'm putting my money.
All right,
I'm saying Johnny Gargano.
You going JG?
I'm going Damian Priest and Io Shirai.
All right, I'm going Damian Priest as well with you there, Matthew. Next one, you said, okay, yeah, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. Matthew, you've already just said you're going Io Shirai.
Yep, I'm going Candice.
You're going Candice. You're going Candice, and I will be going Io Shirai as well.
I feel
it is one of two things. You're right, Duncan. I mean, with both those matches, you're either going kind of one or the other. Either they both lose. I don't think they either both win or they both lose. That's to me what happens.
And that's exactly it. So I'm kind of just, so being that as it may, I'm just
sticking with it. Going
wild card.
Carding it, man. Hey, man, you could come up big on this one. Final bout of the evening, of course, Finn Balor.
Are you going Io Shirai? Is that what?
Yes, I went.
What about tag team?
I did. There's no tag team match listed as
Breezango versus Undisputed Era, or
did they just announce this?
It's them versus Undisputed Era or the Brit Am Brawlers.
I do not believe, according to Wikipedia and what I have right here, it has not been announced unless you have other information.
I'll change that in a second. Just refresh.
I did. Did they really? Did they really just announce something with that one?
I mean, it's on the website.
Is it really? Which one's that?
Sportspedia.
I mean, I'd be willing to do it if it's an actual thing, but yeah, if you can find it.
But do they have to do is there like a match to be had tomorrow night and then they'll decide the.
Good point.
Or is it a 3-way?
No, they're going to decide who is facing Breezango tomorrow.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
So we can't
really do that one.
So it's either, it's like I said, it's either going to be Undisputed Era or the Brit Am Brawlers.
I don't. Who is that?
The Brighton Brawlers, right?
Yeah.
I still don't know who that is.
It's I believe
Danny Burch and
Pete
Oni
Dunne.
Lorcan.
And Oni Lorcan.
Sorry, yeah, but they could bring in Pete Dunne and do something cool with that. Let's not do that one then, and just kind of skip it and just do it as we have it on Wikipedia as of the date of the podcast, and then just call it a day, and then whatever else happens. which leaves us, of course, with just Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship.
Yeah, Finn retains.
Yeah, where I think it would be very surprising.
Be a good match, though.
It'll be a great match, and I think Kyle O'Reilly would be a great NXT champion, just not this soon after Finn winning it.
Yeah. I think they still need to build Finn up to be that sort of like guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like whoever the person that takes the belt off of Finn needs to be like the one that they're about to strap the rocket to and push to the moon.
100%. I think he might even hold that shit till WrestleMania weekend.
Longer than Adam Cole.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it'll be quite longer than Adam Cole, but I think that he could hold it until WrestleMania.
It'll be 5 months. But according to WWE, 18.
18 months, exactly.
By the way you count months.
Yes. Yeah, not days. Nothing matters.
Yeah,
Nothing counts
they're
anymore.
like, 300 days, but 436 days as champion.
Oh, right.
I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Because days calculate into days. Okay.
I love that shit, though. It's funny, though. It is. Talk about something else that's funny. Have you seen Tony Khan on the AEW YouTube spin-off show, a shot of Brandi, where Brandi cooks terrible meals in her kitchen? And
is it really just her excuse to drink?
Yes.
I didn't see that, but I saw... I haven't watched it, but I saw Twitter comments and like a couple articles where they were saying dude, Tony Khan seems like so unlike Vince McMahon, just like a dude I could shoot the shit with in the line at the bathroom.
That he does. He seems very cool. But what I will also say is that Tony Khan got hammered. Like in the first 10.
That's a fucking billionaire. I'd be getting hammered all the time too.
He's drinking with Brandi in their rental home kitchen in Jacksonville, and they're putting together a steak dinner or something. And motherfucker's just like, you could tell, dude is lit. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I gotta get on a plane early tomorrow morning.
Tony Khan.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
As a drunk. I know a drunk, and that motherfucker is wasted. Like I know, I can feel it.
It's funny too because apparently Bert Kreischer was just telling a story about how like he gave Cody a Snoop Dogg joint.
Oh, nice.
And Cody got too high, and then like apparently he finished the end of the story. He was just like, I'm sure he would prefer that not get out. But it's because apparently like Cody and Snoop Dogg are doing this TBS show. It's Little Yokers.
Oh yeah, the fuck. I forget what it is.
That reality show thing that they're doing. Yeah, it's some talent show. The voice.
Yeah, you can dance type shit.
And he got him. And Bert Kreischer got him high.
Yeah, on a Snoop Dogg
That's
joint.
fucking hilarious. That's great. That's great.
Oh, I'll find out. I'll find out where that was, and I'll send that over to you.
Lift him a little higher so people on the internet can see him. There we go.
He's wrapped in his whoopee.
Oh,
it's like fucking Baby Yoda. He's the child.
Just like Baby Yoda. Yep, he is the child.
By the way, if you're just listening to our podcast, we're talking about Duncan's old dog that has now been adopted by Matthew. Good old little Yokers. He's
little buddies.
He's cold up there in Colorado. He got him all wrapped up in a nice little
snow
blanket.
Is it snowing?
No, it's not snowing. It was.
No,
It's like 80 today. We're good.
Yeah.
He likes his whoopies. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, he just shivers. It's a thing.
It's a Chihuahua thing.
It's a comfort thing.
Always shivers.
Yeah, that might be his name if he was a wrestler.
Shivers.
Shivers
me timbers, the pirate.
Me timbers would be his finisher.
I figured you guys would get a laugh at this, but no, I'm gonna wait until after because we'll talk about dark news before we go to one last fun story for the evening. Not necessarily that it's dark, but kind of is. But fuck Joey Ryan once again.
What happened? I don't know.
What a piece of shit.
Walk us through this one, Duncan, because
okay. So he obviously, when the whole speaking out movement first took hold, Joey Ryan was like the big name that not everybody, but he was the big name that had the most serious allegations come out against him by the most people.
Yep.
And so a couple months go by and he puts out that bullshit hour-long apology, basically being like, actually, here is why all of my accusers are lying.
I'm also just going to stop you for 2 seconds there, right? Because it's going to tie into the story, Duncan. I don't know if you saw this since we chatted about it. He has made that particular video private, as in the last day. He's made that video private, which means it's being used in the court case, obviously.
Yeah. So he is claiming that he is losing $20,000 a month because of this, and he is suing his accusers.
Yep.
So first of all,
there's
no gigs to be had anyway.
Yeah.
You're not losing.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think you're losing $20,000 a month. Was your Impact contract $20,000 a month? Were you
is also interesting because there is rumor. This is heavily reported on the Reddits and all that bullshits. The internets that he is apparently going to be suing Impact for breach of contract is the latest one as well.
What? Okay, sure. You're going to get paid out. What good does that do you? Because you're never getting hired again.
Yep.
I don't think he thinks he's getting hired again anyway.
He's just trying to get the money out while he can.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of this, but I think this is, again, same thing as putting bar wrestling up. It's fucking cash grab.
Yep.
This is the cash. This is the time. If I don't do it now, I cannot monetize this. I will miss the chance. Fucking everyone already thinks I'm a piece of shit. Fucking make the most of it and fucking cash wise and fucking peer.
Yep. Yep. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Which is even
honestly
more
not the
shitty.
dumbest.
Makes even more shitty of a person.
He's more shitty, but it's also the smartest thing that he could probably do.
Business-wise, it's the smartest thing that he could ever do. Yeah. PR-wise, it is definitely not.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's already fucked. That's PR-wise,
exactly.
He's fucked. So, but I agree. PR-wise, it's the worst thing he could do. But for his personal business, it's what's best for business, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't rub me the right way. And the whole
Did you have to say that?
Right, you had to use that terminology. You literally.
Yeah.
You talking about the sleaze?
I don't think any of it rubbed us the right way. I don't think he rubbed anyone the right way.
No, he tried to get people to rub him the right way.
Yeah.
Switching gears. Last story of the week. I woke up from a nap today. I left the TV on while I was kind of taking a nap, and I wake up and there's a movie on TV. It's called Bloodsport. You've seen Bloodsport, Val Kilmer.
Yes, I've seen Bloodsport. Are you fucking kidding me?
And of course, it's been compared in a lot of ways to the Raw Underground at times.
Should be compared to Bloodsport, which is an actual thing that happens in wrestling.
Yes. But the movie itself, if you look at the Bloodsport movie, are you guys I can't believe I woke up to this and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm all blurry eyed.
Wait, why is Shane McMahon not yelling at me?
So I'm watching it and I realized that Val Kilmer's buddy in it.
Who? Val Kilmer's not in that.
Yeah, he is. No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Sorry, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know why. I've always got those two mixed up just because of the Van and the whatever.
Van and Val?
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason I got them
Easy
mixed.
mistake.
Is Van Wilder get thrown in there sometimes too?
Dude, to make my head will explode. Don't do it. But are you familiar with the actor Donald Gibb? Because Donald Gibb is
about to be informing me.
Braun Strowman's father. I woke up and I'm like, that's Braun Strowman's dad. It's gotta be. It's not. But look at him. Like, tell me Donald Gibb is not related.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
I'm not wrong.
He was in the Phi Delta Theta fraternity. He looks exactly
Revenge of the
like
Nerds.
Braun fucking Strowman.
He's Braun Strowman. Donald Gibb, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Thank you. I'm not crazy.
Fucking oh my god! Holy shit!
We get a legitimate pop out of one of us every show. I love it.
Hey, that's all I asked for.
I know.
That's all I asked for is one pop from one of you each show.
That's fucking great.
It is time that we get out of here, though, and let's run some plugs, boys. When are you gonna do some Nobody Cares Go Harder for us?
When Maddie doesn't have to travel everywhere all the time.
Yeah,
fair.
The best part about about not caring going harder is that you do it whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Also, that's also fair.
We'll do it whenever the fuck we want.
Oh, you guys know if you've listened to this for any amount of time. If you're listening to this on the podcast, of course, OhNoWrestling.com, OhNoRadioshow.com, and please, by all means, check out our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/ONRS Live. We'd love to see you every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. with us. Chat in the chat room, shoot the shit about wrestling. Apart from that, I feel like, we got a Oh No Patreon. It's over at patreon.com/ONRS. But most of all, the most important thing that we do then when we get out of here is we do a little thing where we say...